Bruce remembered sitting across from his father at the scratched wooden kitchen table, its surface etched with years of family meals and memories. The room was heavy with the earthy aroma of hops and malt from the homemade beer they were sharing. As a teenager, Bruce felt a thrill of maturity and importance when his father slid the cool bottle across the table and nodded for him to take a sip. The dim light overhead cast gentle, shifting shadows that seemed to envelop them in a cocoon of privacy, perfect for sharing deep truths. With a voice tinged with both curiosity and a yearning for clarity, Bruce asked, "Dad, did you ever really love Mom?" His question stemmed from years of watching, with quiet eyes, the way his parents interacted. Even then, he could sense something missing, a warmth or tenderness that he thought should be there, but wasn't evident in his father's demeanor. "She's a dumb bitch. What's there to love?" his father said, shrugging dismissively, his voice laced with a sneer. His eyes narrowed as he continued. "But she's a good mother and a good provider. I find my love elsewhere, son." He leaned back in his chair, the creak of the old wood punctuating his words, and gave Bruce a knowing wink, his lips curling into a sly grin. "The home is for security and comfort while I'm looking for a job," he added, the smirk deepening as he met Bruce's eyes. "She's well trained, if you know what I mean," he said, a laugh lurking just beneath the surface. Bruce sat across from his father at the worn kitchen table, his heart aching for a nod of approval. His father, with his unbuttoned shirt and a cigarette dangling from his fingers, exuded an air of carefree indifference, a man who had sidestepped responsibility with ease. Bruce hung on to his father's words, searching for those rare moments when he felt a flicker of connection, a fleeting bond that always seemed just out of reach. Growing up, he had watched his mother shuffle around the house, her face lined with quiet resignation, and had absorbed his father's dismissive attitude. Women, he learned, were like tools, functional, necessary, but ultimately replaceable. This belief was woven into the fabric of his understanding, passed down like an heirloom from his father. Bruce approached relationships with a calculated detachment, treating women as transactions rather than genuine connections. His father's advice echoed in his mind. "Have fun with a girl, but marry a dependable woman." In his early 20s, Bruce's love life was a whirlwind, a carousel of brief romances, each woman offering a new thrill but never the anchor he sought. To his surprise, these relationships invariably fell apart after 4 or 5 months. The women, sharp and unwilling to be mere stepping stones in his life, saw through his charming facade and refused to be used. Confused by this recurring pattern, Bruce sought insight from his father, sitting with him in their dimly lit living room. "Son, you need to be wise about this," his father counseled, his voice a mix of urgency and seasoned cunning. "You can't just lounge around at home watching movies all day while they're out at work. They'll catch on, realize you have no real intention of finding work, but you can fake it," he continued, leaning back in his worn leather armchair. "Take a job, any job, maybe at the local cafe or a retail store, and stick with it for a couple of weeks. Then create a situation that gets you fired, but make sure it looks like it wasn't your fault, maybe a misunderstanding with a customer or a mix-up with the schedule. Once that's done, you're in the clear for a few months. They'll give you some space, believing you're earnestly searching for another job," his father advised, a glint of slyness in his eyes as he sipped his evening whiskey. This strategy had served Bruce well for years, allowing him to cultivate relationships that lasted longer than his previous brief flings. Then he met Nancy. She was unlike any woman he had encountered before, standing in stark contrast to the waitresses and hairdressers who had previously filled his life with casual conversations and laughter. Nancy projected sophistication. Her words were not only measured, but delivered with a silky assurance, each sentence rolling off her tongue like a symphony of eloquence.